Welcome to PC Wiz Kids Tech Talk. Today we're looking at the Sapphire HD6850. AMD released earlier this month the new 6800 series GPU, and Sapphire, being a partner with AMD, has released the Radeon HD6850, as you can see here. And I'll be reviewing this more in detail. We're going to do a part 1 to just review what's new, and part 2 to benchmark the card itself. Okay, now it comes with upgraded technologies, of course, being the second generation DirectX 11 design. It does have improvements in the tessellation, so the realism of the geometry throughout the game is actually noticeable, as well as because of the 40nm architecture and the design of the chip, it does run slightly cooler and requires less power. So that's one thing that I really liked about this. Here are the specifications of the Sapphire HD6850 that I'm going to review. And as you can see here, when we compare this against the previous generation of GPUs, I would say that this compares to something in between the HD5770 and the HD5850. Okay, in between those two. Okay, somewhere in between those two. Of course, if you overclock the 6850, it'll perform faster than a previous 5850. Okay, so we'll review that in part 2. Now it does come with the upgraded Hdmi connector, that's 1.4a, and DisplayPort is also upgraded to 1.2. It supports now the 3D stereoscopic gaming, so now you can plug it into your HD TV monitor that has 120 hertz, for example, with 3D, and you want to play some games on there and watch in HD and all that. Terrific, it has support for that. The new thing about this is that it supports HDMI 1.4a and DisplayPort 1.2, which allows you to daisy chain and connect like 3 DisplayPort monitors back to back to back, all by just plugging it into one DisplayPort on the card itself. So that is new, and basically a time saver, because you just plug it in once and daisy chain the monitors. Here's a closer look at the card. As you can see, it's got a plastic cover on top. Support for Crossfire, of course, and nice looking fan as usual from Sapphire. It's got a 6-pin power connector requirement only, which is terrific, being a lower power card. And basically, as you can see, it's fairly thick, but it's encased so the hot air gets blown out through the front. PCI Express 2.1, of course, it supports there. And what else can I tell you? Well, the outputs here, you can see 2 DVI outs, 1 HDMI, and 1 standard size DisplayPort. So that's terrific. No mini connectors here. They're all standard. And that's pretty much it. We're going to be installing this card in my test system. Sapphire basically says on the box that you can install this with a 500 watt power supply and you're good to go. If you want to install it in Crossfire, a 600 watt power supply is required. And that's pretty darn good if you ask me for the new generation cards. Comes with an extension for the power there, the manual, Crossfire bridge connector, DVI to VGA, and of course it includes the HDMI cable, which is terrific. Okay, saves you a couple bucks there on that one too. In part 2, we're going to be installing this in my test system and doing some benchmarks to compare. So I'd like to thank Sapphire for providing it, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.